I'm writing of the events of Tuesday, January 8th, 2008. I don't really understand all that God has taught me about this day, but I know that something was happening, and I feel compelled to put fingers to keys before it slips from my mind. We are back in Pastor Henry's town, which is where we attended church the previous Sunday. He has a small church, so small that our group of 67 doubled the congregation that Sunday, and we all sat outside under two large blue tarps. It was a really beautiful day outside. Pastor Henry has an amazing ministry in a village because he has one of the only few water wells in town. As a result, many villagers come to him twice a week for water, where they also hear the gospel. His church members also arrive on Sunday with containers to take water home after church. What a ministry! He provides both physical water and living water for his community. Because of his relationship with SCORE, we're back in his town on this Tuesday to bring medical supplies, eyeglasses, toothpaste, toothbrushes, Crocs, and most importantly, the gospel. In my mind, I really see Pastor Henry's church as a lighthouse, meeting physical needs and spiritual needs in the village. What a joy it is to serve Pastor Henry in this day. We arrive Tuesday to a typical Dominican school, just 2 rows of classrooms with windows on both sides, the doors facing each other across an open courtyard. The windows are not glass and screens as we are used to, but horizontal white aluminum shutters that close to keep the rain out. While mapping out the rooms to set up the clinic, we start to see villagers entering the schoolyard, waiting to see the doctors. Word has spread prior to our arrival. Pastor Henry passed out numbers to the people in the village. This is a large village, and we can only meet the needs of about 500 in one day. The morning seems to flow smooth. I'm amazed by the unity of our team. God has blessed 67 people from 7 different churches that really didn't know each other prior to the trip. God also blesses us with 5 translators, 2 of which are Dominican girls that have taken a week from their studies to serve with us. As the morning progresses, I see a larger and larger crowd gathering outside the fence. I'm still not sure how Joe managed the gate all day, but I know that God was with him. After 300 people have been seen, it's time for lunch. It's a much-needed time to stop, pray, and get some nourishment. As Zoe and I finish our lunch, I notice the line of people is huge. I guess 400 or more. Then I hear loud, angry voices from the distance. I told Zoe, stay in the pharmacy with the other adults until I return. I try not to scare her, but I worry what is going to happen next. As many of the men head for the gate, fears run through my head. God, what is going to happen? How will we calm the mass of bodies? There is a local Dominican man translating for Joe for the people to calm down. Many of the people had numbers that were not seen in the morning and were told to return in the afternoon. They don't look happy about waiting so long to enter the clinic. I'm sure many villagers from the morning went home and told friends and family of the crazy Americans that were giving away medications, eyeglasses, toothbrushes, toothpaste, Crocs for the feet, and entertaining their children with balloons and coloring. As we get to the gate, I see we have an angry mob on our hands. Many yelling, but we don't understand a word. Many pointing to parts on their body, I'm guessing of physical pain and suffering. Lord, what should we do? If we could only communicate. Our translators beg the people to calm down and stop pushing. There are a lot of people getting crushed by the mob. As we stand in the cool shade of 85 degrees, I can feel the heat from the mob. The sweat and the sheer body heat of the mob is overwhelming. Lord, is this what it's like on Judgment Day? A mob of people outside the gate begging to get in? We can only see about 200 more people, and we will not be back tomorrow. As I look at Pastor Henry, I can see he's troubled. It's decided that we first must let the people with the numbers through. The mob is told they must back up. You must let the people with the numbers through. We unchain the gate. So many people, so much pushing. I hold the gate open just 12 inches wide as Jim, our 20-year Marine Sergeant Major, starts the count. I grab the numbers from the mothers and grandmothers as they're squeezing hands of many children as they can grab. The children seem to flow around our feet like sand. I can barely count fast enough as they come through. Finally, we close the gate. We see no more people with numbers. What must they be feeling? Are these the believers that just make it into heaven by the grace of God? Now we have to decide who the next 120 people will be. There is 3 times this amount in the mob. They are still yelling even louder. Now we have people inside begging to let others in. They point at the mob and beg. We motion to these people to move away from the fence. Move back up to the school. Please stay in line. It's decided that the elderly and the pregnant women and children will be allowed to enter. The translators again beg the mob to move back. Let the elderly through. Jim and I are back to the gate, only 120 more. That's all we can see. Again, I hold the gate open just 12 inches. Lord, how can we turn these people away? They are your children. You love them. How can we do this? We are to love them as you. How can we say, go home, we have nothing for you? What will this do to Pastor Henry's ministry? Lord, what have we done? The next 120 stream in so fast again, Jim and I can hardly count. Grandmothers squeezing through with as many children's hands as they can grab. 198, 199, 200. That's it. Close the gate. No more. Now they really start to yell and scream. Is this just a small sample of gnashing of teeth? Now even more people inside beg to let others in. Again, we ask the 200 to stay away from the fence, move back in line. A woman outside the gate is yelling at a teenage boy near me. As he moves a chair near the fence, I see she's holding an infant in the air. Oh no, she's attempting to pass a tiny infant over the barbed wire fence. Please, no, back in line. In my best Spanish, I keep repeating, no more people, no more people. How do we tell them to go home? We have nothing for you. I ask one of the young Dominican college students to translate for me. Please tell them they must go home. We do not have enough medication for everyone, only the ones inside. Please go home. As she does this once, I see her heart is broken. She cannot go down the fence line and tell the others with me. As I go back to the gate, I no longer see Joe. Where is he? Where did he go? Oh no, he's outside the gate, in the mob with a translator named Angela. What is he doing? What will the mob do to them? Out there, in the mob, Joe and Angela rounding up more pregnant women. What is he thinking? How will he get back in? I thank the Lord the mob did not get violent and they let Joe and Angela back in. Now there's children coming from somewhere across the schoolyard. Where are they coming from? As we say goodbye in Spanish and gesture to go, we see more and more. Lord, what do we do? Some of the men stand guard around the 200 so that we can keep them separate from the children flowing into the schoolyard. Others start numbering the hands of the 200 and give out medical papers. Others and I start to chase the children away. Lord, how can we be so cruel? For the children, it seems to be a game, a challenge to slip past us into the line. I see 2 teenage boys run from across the yard into the 200. As I walk in their direction, children from outside the fence laugh and are yelling to the boys or me. I'm really not sure. I follow the red and white colored shirt. As I feel the boy's chest, his heart is racing, as well as the boy next to him. I take them both by the arm out of the line and tell them goodbye in Spanish. I motion to the corner of the schoolyard where they keep coming from. Jim and I usher the 8 children with them out of the yard. As we follow them, we see there's a hole in the fence. As they all go out, I wonder, now what? Do Jim and I stand here at the hole in the hot sun all afternoon guarding? Oh Lord, how do we show your love to these children? They seem to think it's all a game, but we cannot treat them in the clinic without a parent. At first we smile and just try to play with them from inside the fence, but they only yell louder and faster. How many times will we tell them we don't understand until they get bored and just go home? After minutes that seems like hours, Jim and I pray, Lord, please give us wisdom. I don't know how to care for your children. They all keep yelling louder and louder, on and on. After 15 minutes, we decide to just stand guard and ignore them, but this only makes them more exasperated. Finally, after about another 5 minutes, we decide the 200 must be numbered by now, and all we need to do is guard the doors to the clinic rooms, the pharmacy, the room where the crocs are, and the ministry rooms. No numbers, no papers, no service. After an hour, all seems to be going well, as I notice more and more children without parents, numbers, or papers running around the yard with balloon hats, balloon animals, and coloring papers attempting to get into the pharmacy where I've been working. The afternoon is a constant battle telling kids over and over, "Where's your papers? Where's your parents? Goodbye, goodbye," in my best Spanish. As the afternoon drags on, they seem more and more insistent to enter. Each time I must tell them with more and more anger in my voice to get them to leave. Lord, we love the 200, but what did we do to the others? Did today's work hurt or help Pastor Henry's ministry? You fed 5,000 people with a boy's loaves and fishes. Why couldn't we meet the needs of everybody today? Lord, you knew before time began 67 people would be here this day to share your love. Just as it will happen on Judgment Day, you know today who will be left outside your gate. Please use these images today to make me more bold in my witness, so that on Judgment Day I don't find myself begging for loved ones that are outside the gate and left behind.